Hey there, how's it going? Welcome back to your video market update just for the townhouse market here in Barrie. I'm Andre with the Townhouse team. So in the previous report, we mentioned that we saw an increase in activity going from the December to January months, and we've seen that increase in activity continue to this reporting period. So between February 1st to February 15th, we actually saw more townhouses go sold firm and leave the market than new townhouse listings come on, with 5 new listings coming onto the market and 7 properties going sold firm and leaving. It was really interesting to see as well in the past 2 weeks that there was a townhouse, there were 3 townhouses that were sold for over asking, but there was one in particular that ended up getting 4 offers. There was multiple offers on this townhouse, ended up selling firm for over asking price, which is something that we have not seen in obviously a long time here in the townhouse market and the real estate market overall. So stick around till the end of the video. We're going to talk about that, as well as the Bank of Canada's announcement on whether or not they're going to continue raising interest rates going forward. So make sure you're tuned in. This is going to be a really good report. We have some great information coming your way. So let's get into it. Starting off, the first new listing came into the market at $599,900. The second listing also priced at $599,900. The third listing came into the market at $624,900, $680,000, and finally the fifth property came into the market this week priced at $850,000. Now, on the other hand, we saw 7 townhouses leave the market and go sold firm this week. The first property was priced at $504,900 and sold for $510,000. Now, they were on the market for their new price of $505 for 27 days, but in total, this property was on the market for 216 days, almost an entire year before selling. We're going to briefly talk about that when we're going to compare the lowest and highest sale price this week. The second property was sold for $620,000, $624,000, $630,000, $660,000. The sixth listing was priced at $699,900, sold for $685,000, and finally the seventh listing came into the market at $719,998 and sold for $725,000, being on the market in total for 63 days, but at this new price of $720,000 for 8 days. The total active inventory, or the amount of townhouses that a current buyer can choose from, is actually down from the previous reporting period. It was previously at 21, and we are now at 18. So it's not too much lower, but like I mentioned in the last reporting period, there's probably more townhouse buyers waiting on the sidelines than there are current townhouses available for sale, but we're still seeing that activity slowly pick up. And it is great to see for townhouse sellers that more townhouses were sold this week than new listings come onto the market. But that overall is a very low amount of active townhouses. I remember we were sitting at 50, 60 at some points, but it's good because it means that sellers, they have a little bit of an advantage right now because there isn't too much product to choose from. But again, the buyers are still waiting on the sidelines, and hopefully the Bank of Canada announcement, which we're going to get to in a second, is going to be a positive overall for the spring market as we go forward. The average list price this week jumped up to $656 compared to last reporting periods of $655. The average close price also went up to $636,000 compared to the last reporting period of $627,000. Average list to sale difference is hovering around that 98%, which is a really healthy number. And the average days on market has gone up to 33 compared to last reporting periods of 21. Now let's talk about the lowest and highest sold townhouse properties this week. The lowest sold townhouse property this week was for $510,000 for a 3-bedroom, 1 bathroom. That 1 washroom was on the upper floor, so there was no washroom on the main floor or the basement, which was unfinished. It was 1,100 finished square feet. A row unit townhouse located in the west neighborhood of Barrie. Like mentioned, they were on the market for 27 days at their new price of $504,900, but in total, they were on the market for 216 days. So it did need updating, hence the sale price. It was a little bit of a dated townhouse. It's gonna need some work, or if a buyer wants to move in and slowly kind of do it themselves, they can do that. They initially listed at $599,000 for a few months, then dropped it to $549,000 for another few months. Then they relisted at $505,000 and ended up selling for $510,000. On the other hand, we saw the highest sale price this week being $725,000 for a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom, 1,946 finished square feet, very, very large townhouse. End unit, it's a 3-story, so it doesn't have a basement. New build, located in the Painswick neighborhood of Barrie. They were on the market for 8 days at $720,000. They ended up selling over asking for $725,000, but in total, they were on the market for 63 days. So they initially listed at $749,000, then they canceled and relisted at $720,000, and sold for over ask at $725,000. It was really, really beautiful as well. I'll include a photo of the kitchen and hence the higher sale price of the property, because finishes obviously play a very, very large role, and the fact that it was the 3-story newer design layout of a townhouse. So as we did mention in our forecast a few weeks ago, if you've been keeping up with these video market updates, we are seeing an increase in activity in sales and new listings and overall sale prices as we head into the spring market of March, April, and May. Now, there are 2 pieces of important real estate news that we want to mention. And if you're watching this and you're not part of the best townhouse real estate newsletter in all of Barrie, you should definitely join. The link to that is down below. We sent this out in our previous January edition, but it's a great way to stay in tune of what's going on, exactly what's going on in the townhouse market in Barrie. But the Bank of Canada, the first piece of news is that the Bank of Canada has stated that it has an intention to pause further interest rate hikes depending on the inflation report that comes out next week, either on February 21st or February 22nd. If the inflation report is positive and the Bank of Canada comes out to publicly state that they will be putting a pause on further interest rate hikes going forward, we obviously can't predict the future of the real estate market, but it's a big consensus here at our office, at a real estate brokerage, and among agents overall, that it's very likely to set a upward trend as we continue to head into the spring market. So if you're a buyer waiting to step into the market, or if you're a seller holding off coming onto the market, these 2 pieces of information, when the inflation report comes out, what it's going to be, and what the Bank of Canada's response to that report will be, is something to keep an eye out for, because we've seen the Bank of Canada can single-handedly change the market overall. Switch the market just like that. It can do the same if this really good piece of news comes out, and if the media, depending what the stories they start publishing with it, we could see another surge of activity going forward into the market. And finally, we saw a townhouse come onto the market this week. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, end unit townhouse that listed for $649,000, and they ended up getting 4 offers on it, which is something that we have not seen in a long time, unless the property's really priced below market value. And they ended up selling firm for $660,000. Now, that is a great sale price beyond all means, but that's not the full part of the story, because this townhouse was listed twice previously in 2022, and now for the first time since they listed and took it off the market, they came onto the market being properly priced. They initially listed in April 2022 for $799,000, then canceled and relisted for $10,000 less at $789,000 before taking off the market, waiting 6 to 8 months, and putting it back onto the market at $649,000. And because they generated great interest, they were able to get 4 offers and sell for over asking price. Now, the seller still made a great profit compared to what they purchased the property for years and years ago, but obviously what we're seeing all over the place, and we mentioned it again and again, if the product is priced right, it will sell. Despite the market still being a little slower, we're seeing activity pick up. If you have good marketing to go hand in hand with a properly priced product, then you can create an advantageous situation for yourself where this property sold not for market value, but over what it's worth, because they ended up getting 4 offers and then selling firm for $660,000. And that's all for today's report. I know it's a little bit of a longer one. If you have any questions about buying, selling, or investing in the townhouse market here in Barrie, think Townhouse Team. We're going to keep you posted exactly what's going on going forward. Make sure to sign up to the newsletter down below if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one.